Hello and welcome to another video. We have patch 3.1.9 here. So let's take a look. I haven't even read this one yet, but I see the new ESPERS here. So that's what we are going to focus on more. So let's see. This gonna hit on February 7th. So it's close. It's close. So soon we're gonna be able to see the new Esper here. So let's take a look. Chang-Chi, 5-star Inferno attune. Chang-Chi is a support Esper who controls HP and AP of both allies and enemies. This is it. Like, all of the Espers so far that we have can increase either attack damage, like the attack stats for their teammates, speed stats, defense stats, critical rate stats, etc., etc. But none of them can increase allies' HP, allies' maximum HP. So if this can really increase the maximum HP of allies, then he will be very, very valuable for Everett and Falcon, for all those espers that use HP as their either main damage source or their main survival source. So like Jin Yu Yao can also be really, really good. Pandora also gets benefits out of it. So let's take a look. Ability 1, Word Launch. Attacks an enemy with extra true damage based on their elemental class, inflicting disease. So we already see it, the Apex killer from just this skill. But it's just the disease. Like this is kind of like a permanent disease because this is the first skill. So I can already see like a lot of players are going to say that he really is an Esper that's gonna excel in Apex. Like a lot of players already, predict that he's gonna be really, really good in Apex because we already have a Yun Chuan for Fafnir, we have Intisar for Kronos, so this one should be for Apex. And they were right, yeah. I don't want to assume yet because there might be a chance that we got like some filler Esper before we can actually get our Apex Esper. But the other day I saw his lore, and it mentioned that this guy Chang-Chi, he is afraid of snake. So Lilith already released 2 snakes, Intisar and Nua, and then the next Esper is afraid of snakes. So it's not a coincidence, like because he is afraid of snakes, he should do everything in his power to counter a snake. So let's see the second skill. Definitive form. Attacks all enemies and has a chance of inflicting stun. Then if an enemy is not stunned, it has a chance of reducing their AP. This is alright. This is alright. Like it won't affect AP, but it's quite good for in a case of other PvE content. Because in other PvE content, like you do want to stun your enemies, like stun is a hard CC while reducing the enemy's AP is a soft CC. So if you cannot stun the enemy, like in this case, like bosses, like you cannot stun bosses, and then you want to reduce their AP instead. So this is alright, this is good. And then in PvP case, you can reduce Jin Yuyao's AP instead of stunning her. So, because you cannot stun her. So, third skill, Cosmos Writing. Selects an ally and triggers mirror effect, raises the ally's HP percentage to the level of the enemy with the highest HP percentage. Oh my god. Oh my god. How long is this skill last? Wow. Raises the allies' HP percentage to the level of the enemy with the highest HP percentage. Oh no, it's percentage, So I thought like if you bring a 10,000 health Gaius and then the enemy has 60,000 health Everett, then your Gaius will increase his HP up until 60,000. but this is percentage. So it's more of like if average sits at 80% HP, and then your Gaius is dying with only like 10% HP, so you heal him back to 80% maximum HP. So that probably is the case because it's mentioned here that it is percentage, but we might be wrong. Like my first guess would probably what's gonna happen because Lilith is well known for like their weird English wording. So after Ascension, it also works for AP. So this will push their AP to the fastest in the enemy's team's AP. So this is actually kind of like AP push, similar to Fabrice or Abigail, but this will only make you as fast as the enemy's fastest Esper at that moment in time. Meanwhile, it attacks all enemies. The greater the enemy's maximum HP, the higher the damage. Oh my god. This is another percentage HP Esper, which I do want. I do want this. But let's just see. Like, because he is a support Esper, I don't know how big his damage gonna be. Yeah. All in all, this might be like the legendary version of Meredith, because Meredith deals percentage HP damage to her enemies up until her own HP, like 50% of her own HP. So this one, if he doesn't have a limit like Meredith, because he is a legendary, if he doesn't have a limit, then he will be really good, because as a support he will be able to deal a lot of damage, because this damage is a percentage HP damage, so he doesn't need attack at all. You can just build him tanky with HP percent, defense percent, speed, and probably resist, just the usual support relic, and then he will still deal some kind of damage. So all in all, we do want to see the percentage number of this Esper, but you will treat him as how you treat Meredith, a damage dealer support, which is really good. Like Meredith, I've been liking Meredith ever since like I got her, because she was only available for those who attend an event before all event came out. So when they released her in the Equaspin and I got her, I've been trying to use her. She is really good. Like, she deals a lot of damage, but the thing is that she is quite replaceable, because when you are trying to bring a support healer, you do want her to focus on just healing. It's just like when you are playing MMORPG, like if you have a player that is supposed to be healing, but because he is like too focused on dealing damage, then he kind of neglecting his job on healing, which is a little bit what's happening in Meredith's case. Like, her healing is not as much as other healers, so she needs another backup healers. Like in my case, like I usually pair her up with Sally, like half healer, because my Sally is still not built up. Like, she doesn't get any Abilimon, she is not Resonance yet, still level 50. So she is a half healer for me, and together with Meredith, both half healers, I can have a full healer in my team. That's how I usually use Meredith. So this one is also gonna be the same. Like, he is kind of like a half healer because he can bring allies' health back to the highest percentage of the enemy's HP percentage, which is quite okay. If you leave one enemy in the enemy's team at full health, that means you will always be able to heal someone back to full health. This is really good. This is really good, especially if you have the opposite of what I explained earlier. Like, if I have Everett with 60,000 HP and I keep the enemy's Gaius at 100% HP, even though the enemy Gaius only have like 10,000 HP, I will be able to heal my Everett by 60,000 HP back to full because it's percentage based. So this is really, really good for a tank team. Like in PvP, like for a tank team and against tank team. So this is really good. Resonance, Cosmos Writing, final damage increase, change, Cosmos Writing, mirroring HP percentage, change to swapping HP percentage. Swap doesn't take effect on process and is not regarded as damage or healing. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, this is really good. Like I can see a lot of funny interaction with this. Like if you have a DPS that is almost dying, and then you swap your health with the enemy's like height or enemy's Everett, like all those tanks, you can reduce their HP by a lot while healing your ally. And because it's not regarded as damage or healing, that means it won't trigger Avatara from the enemy side. So this is really good. Wait, mirroring AP change to swapping AP. Swap doesn't take effect on versus. Wow. So yeah, because mirroring AP means that you will be at the same AP as your enemy, but who moves first, we don't know. But this, because we swap our AP, that means that you have two options, whether you want to swap their HP or you want to swap their AP. Although this will be really, really bad, like if you plan on swapping your AP against the enemies that is gonna move next, but he has lower HP than you, do I get my allies' HP reduced? That's a question that needs to be tested. But all in all, it's quite fun. It's quite fun to have this kind of things, you know. So when the target's defense is below Changchi's, damage increases. Oh, okay. So Changchi is using defense himself. Yeah, his main stats will most likely gonna be defense. So he is a support with defense main stats. This is something that I've been looking for, because so far the only Esper that has a very high defense, that uses defense as their main stats, is only the frog. What's her name? Lauren. If you do have Lauren and you build her, you will notice that her ascensions increase her defense by a lot. And you do want to emphasize on that. But whether his ability damage scales of his defense is another question. Yeah, whether this scales with his defense, they do not mention it anywhere. So if this scales with his defense, that means that Changchi will have a very unique relic, special for himself. Like you do want to, you still need like HP bonus, defense bonus, speed, and resist. I don't know if you need accuracy on this one. Yeah, you probably need accuracy for the stun and the HP reduction. So you can replace that resist with accuracy. But all in all, you still need both HP and defense. But you do want to emphasize more on the defense. So if you have that kind of relic, like you plan to build a relic for your support, but it goes more into the defense side, then you can give it to Changchi. And then new effect, Cosmos Writing. Which one is Cosmos Writing? The third skill, yeah. Before swapping AP, raises AP of all allies other than the selected ally to the level of the non-boss enemy with the highest AP. Only takes effect if the enemy's AP is above the allies. Requires completing Ascension tree. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. With the highest AP. Wow. This is great. This is insane. This is insane. So here, this is an example. Like if the enemy gonna move next, but you have your Changchi move first, and then you can bring your entire team to the same AP at that enemy that's gonna move next, and then you actually swap one of your allies to that one enemy's AP, and then basically you can bring your entire team to move first. So if you can give, like, there are several ways to play Changchi. Then if you can give him your fastest rally, so we need to look at his base speed, and also does he gives speed ascension later on. If he gets that, that means that you can give your Dahlia's rally, the one you usually use for the first Esper that you want to move in your team, and then after that you can just let all of your other allies to have like very low speed, because if your Changchi can move first, that means the next Esper that's gonna move is gonna be one of the enemy. You can just swap that enemy's AP, and your entire teammates will move after Changchi. This is insane. Like this is even better than like Dahlia or Clara or any other AP pusher. Like this is a guaranteed move, because you swap their AP with the enemy's highest AP. Because you will definitely, at the start of the turn, everybody still have like 100% HP. So you do want to use your third skill to swap to the enemy with the highest AP. That's for sure. This is fun. This is gonna be fun. This is, I think he is really solid. Like his skills are very unique. Like this is one of a kind. But whether this is OP or not depends on how you use him. So in a way, he is really balanced. So aside from the percentage number that we're gonna see in all of his skills, then he is a solid Esper. Unless he has like one skill that deals like 150% of his defense value, that means that he is still okay. Like if he also on top of all this and still can deal high damage by his own skill damage, then he will become OP. But I don't think that will be the case, because he is a support. Even though he has this kind of damage, like because he has this kind of damage, that means probably his own attack damage is not gonna be big. It depends on the enemy's maximum HP for him to be able to deal that damage. So yeah, solid Esper, really good. Percentage HP damage will always be relevant in the future. So if I can reach that Wishstone, I will probably take him. So Daniel, Chiron, 4-star Inferno Tune. Daniel is a controller with support abilities. Yeah, I've already seen the video. I didn't make like a reaction video because that was only like like one-time thingy. I don't really make reaction videos, so I just leave it as it is. But I saw Chiron's skill icon, and I saw a shield on his second skill. So I know for sure that he is a kind of like a defender, like have some kind of defensive buff or something to his allies. So coverage shot deals damage to one enemy based on Daniel's maximum HP, has a chance of inflicting silence upon successful infliction, gains recovery. Oh, he can self-sustain. This is good. And because this scales on Daniel's maximum HP, so we now have 3 Espers that can deal like a fighter using maximum HP. Although you can also include Pandora and Jin Yuyao in a sense, but they are more of a support instead of like a focus on a fighter side. But yeah, Jin Yuyao deals a lot of damage too. But we have another Espers that can deal damage using their HP now. So I reckon this one might be more of a single target, or maybe AoE. Yeah, all of the HP damage dealer that we have all deal like single target damage. Let's just see his other abilities. Centaur's Blessing consumes HP to grant all allies shield and attack up. Right when I just made a video that says that, you know, there are only 3 ESPERS that can give attack up while being a DPS themselves, which is Ashley, Brian, and Intisar. They release another attack up buffer, and this one is kind of not really a fighter, but they say it's a controller. But we don't know how much damage he can deal. So he might be able to deal a lot of damage, he might not be able to deal a lot of damage, but all in all, he can somehow contribute in the damage department. So consume HP to grant all allies shield and attack up. So if the HP consumption here is a percentage based, then you don't want to give Chiron HP bonus in his rally. So you do want to focus on defense, because if you give more HP to him, then the cost will also increase. But if this is a fixed HP number that you need to consume, then you do want to increase his maximum HP, so not to kill yourself with this. So third ability, Meteor Flurry, another meteor like Noah, is it? Consumes HP to deal damage equal to a percentage of his HP, reducing enemy AP after say also a fixed time. Okay, for sure you need to give him HP bonus, because equal to a percentage of his HP. So you do want to give him as many HP as possible. But this is good. Like, this is another Esper that will stack as much HP as possible. And because of this, because he deals damage using his HP, so his build will be similar to Everett, which is a blessing for me, because I have Resonance 6 Intisar, and Everett is the easiest one for me to kill, because everybody focus, like in every other tanks, like tanky Espers, they all have HP and defense. But for Everett case, because everybody focus on his critical rate and critical damage, so they don't give him any defense, most of them. So because he has low defense, my Intisar actually deals more damage to him. It's compared to any other tanky Esper, because he doesn't have any defense. So if everybody builds him as a fighter again with HP bonus, critical rate, and critical damage, that means he will be very, very easy for me to kill. Except if the shield is like, you know, very, very huge, then it's a problem, because there is a chance that he can consume his HP, and the amount of shield that he gives depends on how much HP that he consumes. That will be a little bit troublesome, but all in all, he is all right. He is good, like a solid unit. Another attack up buffer, which is really good. So we have 4 Espers now that can give attack up while dealing damage. Ashley, Brian, Chiron, and Intisar. So yeah, this is good. This is good. And let's see his resonance. Final shield strength increase. Centaur's Blessing is second skill. Each surviving enemy increase Daniel's accuracy. Standard. That is the previous resonance systems, right? If there is an ability on cooldown speed increase, another one of the previous resonance trait. New effect, Centaur's Blessing gains 1 turn. Which one is this? Oh no. Oh no, if you have him at Resonance 6, championship. We have another event like Daylon. Oh yeah, I never mentioned about championship. So championship is supposed to wallgate certain Esper. So I bet like the purpose of this championship is for Lilith to release a very, very strong Esper, so people will compete into getting them. But the thing is that will somehow break the balance, because if only like top 100 players get, like for example, Daylon when he first released, like his initial skill was to be able to dispel all of the enemy's buffs and then either reduce their AP or increase their skill cooldown, I forgot. But it was much, much better than just inflicting disease. And because he is able to do that, that makes him like almost the best epic Esper in the Dispel category. Because if either AP down or skill cooldown up that was first like initially being released and we get that, that means he is gonna be a really good opener, a very, very good one at that. But because I don't know what happens, like they probably want to give equal chance to everybody to get the new Esper, and then they nerf the championship, like they make it easier, like everybody can now get Daylon, like they don't really need to compete as much because you have excess amount of ripples, like Daylon ripples. So I don't know if they gonna do the same thing for Chiron, but looking at his skills, he is somehow balanced enough, but he is still really, really good because his Divine Gate 6 makes him similar like Sienna. He can give attack up and shield to his entire teammates, and then he gains bonus turn, and then he will deal percentage HP damage, reducing enemies AP, and inflict stun. This is basically the epic version of Sienna. It's the opposite. We usually have the epic Esper first, and then they will release the legendary version of that Esper. Now we have the opposite one. We have the epic version of Sienna. But in his case, in Daniel's case, he can deal damage, whereas Sienna is fully support. So yeah, solid Espers. Both are really good. You do want to compete in the championships, and we do want to see like what kind of competition that the championship have now. Like whether you're gonna compete with the relic again or they're gonna change to another competition. We will see. We will see. At the ritual points and ritual soap, after the update clearing the ritual, grant ritual points, higher difficulty grant more points, redeem for experiment elemental waste and other growth materials in the ritual soap. Oh wow, this is nice. A new shop. So they force you to actually grind ritual miracles so you can redeem all these things. But I do interested in the experiment here. So while you are grinding your relic, you can also increase your Esper's level, which solves the issue for new players, because new players currently need to make a choice whether they want to increase their Esper's level or they want to increase their relic. They cannot have both. So now you can have both with the Ritual Miracle shop here. Added the Esper name card frame for Changchi after he is max level, max ascended, and max ascended. The solos there, the Changchi, the new portrait, blah blah blah. Added trials for guys. Championship. Okay, this is the championship now. Grants echo ripples for the Esper. Championship contains 3 sub events. Relic enhancement and point war. The same. It's the same. So my previous video on my tips and tricks for the championship can still work. You can go to the comment section and read my explanation there. So yeah, I'm not gonna make another video for this. The top 100 players in the world leaderboard will also get a special name card. Oh, they give a special name card. This is good. In the sub-event relic, when the amount of relics in the inventory reaches the limit, players will no longer get relics and corresponding event points. Okay. So maybe there was a bug in the previous championship that still give you points even though you have a maximum amount of relics. Divine support. Redefining an Esper with your votes. The winning Esper will share their untold story in the next update. Now players get a limited edition dynamic avatar of the Esper they support with the highest votes. Wait a second. So aside from Changchi, you have 2 more new ESPERS that you can vote here. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna make a prediction video for this, just like how I did with Fatum Sisters and Intisar. And we turned out right. Yeah, I predicted that Intisar would be much better than Fatum Sisters, and here we are. So this is another Divine Support event. So I do want to see what are the 2 new ESPERS aside from Changchi that's gonna be released. So let's see. Warm-up match. Okay, this is the warm-up match, the usual one. And whose skin we gonna get this time? Let's see. Select on 3D, review it, control over, can do over, when players get higher tier record, blah blah blah. Release Simon claim card and release master to claim the skin Mimer. Enlightened Seeker. Wait. Oh, so so Mimer is Pritzker. Yeah. So the Pritzker skin, the best one among all the 3 new skins, is hidden behind the warm-up match. So only like the top, how many players? Or there's no limit. So only if you can finish the RTA, then you will get this skin. But this is good. That means that free-to-play players can get this skin. This is good. And then new feature, auto-deploy. Players don't perform any operation when they expand in one way. Enter auto-deploy mode. In this mode, the selection phase will be reduced. Okay. Valentine's Day, fashions and ideals. Chloe prepared a chocolate design, but the chocolates to be distributed were made of Chloe fine to thank you. During the event, clear Sonic Grave, which America's so says get date in fights. Collect sufficient data. Okay. So it's basically all the PV stages. Bingo game, Grand Nexus Crystal, Gold, clear to absence for handmade chocolates and view message. Collect the gold record, a limited edition name card. Chloe, the Heartthrob Chloe skin, another reward. So this is gonna be another free skin. That is good. Yeah. So you just need to clear PvE stages and you will get a free skin, a Chloe free skin. So that is good. Changchi, Echo event. Yeah, you can summon him from the Echo. That's alright. Added the Wish Pool. The previous Wish Pool was changed to the Resonance Pool. Players can spend 100 Wish Stones in a Wish Pool to draw an unknown Esper from a limited range. This is gonna change the game by a lot. Because this is no longer a gacha game. This is a wishing game now. Because everybody will have every single Esper now, I guess. But we will just need to see how the Wish Pool works. But that will be that will change the game's genre into a wishing game instead of a gacha game. So everybody will have Esper. So now is the more reason why you want to Resonance 6 your Esper. Like I think I mentioned it in my previous video. Like once you have sufficient amount of Esper that makes you able to clear most content, it is time for you to better off with increasing duplicates instead of keep trying to pull for the new Esper. Because like for example, if you don't need this Changchi, it's better not to collect him at all. Like even if you are a collector, well, if you are a collector then you do want him, but it's better off not to have him because you will not use him anyway, you know. So it's better not to just skip him at all, and then focus on your current Esper that you use the most right now. It's much more beneficial that way rather than having every single Esper. Like I've mentioned this in my previous video, I prefer 5 fully resonated Esper like Resonance 6 than 20 Resonance 2 Espers, because with those 5 fully resonated Espers I can brute force most content, you know, instead of like having every single Espers but all of them are mediocre. That is just my personal take. After playing so many games, so many different genres, so many gacha games, duplicates do makes a difference. And this is the only game that before they changed the resonance systems in 3.1.7, this is the only gacha games that doesn't reward you for getting duplicates. And that is a problem. But I knew, but lucky for me, I knew from the beginning that even though they only give like base stats, like you can only increase their attack or defense or HP value if you have their duplicates, that 40% increase makes a difference. And I use my ESPERS according to their resonance level. And now it's even more relevant because they have the divine gate system, so you do want to focus on what you currently have right now. That's just my take about this game. So wishful selectable ESPERS will unlock in 2 stages. Stage 1 will unlock, after getting a wish ESPERS, players can no longer draw from the wish pool again until the spin times reset. So spin time resets every 60 days. So you can have your wish ESPER every 2 months. So quite okay. This is what makes the game balanced. Like you cannot just have every single ESPER that you want, but you will be able to take what you need every 2 months. So this is balanced. This is good enough. Yeah, this is good enough. So stage 1 will unlock when the player owns 70 wish stones. Stage 2 will unlock when the player owns 10 legendary ESPERs. Selectable ESPERs range limited Inferno, Wind, Flow, Attune legendary ESPERs, and All Shimmer Attune epic ESPERs. This is good. I wish for Catherine and Chongnan actually. So this is good. This is good for me. Like I thought they're gonna open only the legendary ESPERs, but if they open the epic ESPERs, then this is much better. So yeah, although it's a waste, like a lot of people are gonna say it's a waste because I should have just wished for the legendary. But it depends. Like I wish for what I need, not what I want. So yeah. Bounties optimization. Added the bounty access level, which increases with the number of completed bounty missions. A higher level grants higher quality and probability of a bounty mission. For the update, the bounty access level will be based on their mission progress in history. This is good. Like we have increased bounty missions. It means added weekly chest rewards. Players will get a chest based on the number of bounty missions they completed each week. The chest contains rewards, blah blah blah. Okay, more rewards, which is very very generous. Lilith is a very generous developer. They give so much to their players. With reward to completion for normal bounty missions. After players accept a bounty mission, they must dispatch it to the next. Yeah, this is upon meeting the basic requirement, they can acquire a basic reward. Anything additional requirement, blah, 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 that's a bonus reward. This is just the same as the expedition, but for bounties. This is good. Like usually when I do bounties, like they force me to go to certain stages, kill certain enemies, blah blah blah. Sometimes I forget to stop the multi-battle and I just wasted like some stamina in there. But with this, like I no longer need to waste stamina, so I can fully invest my stamina into the stages that I want. If I need Experiment, I go to the Sonic Rift. If I need Relic, I go to Ritual Miracle. And if I need Booster, I go to Dislyte Land for the whole day without caring about the bounty missions. So bounty missions allow quick dispatch, but an expert can be deployed repeatedly in a day. It's required to press a mission change from Nexus crystals to gold. Oh, okay. So can you just keep clearing bounties? That means you can clear a lot of bounties if you have a lot of different experts with all level 50 and above. So that's good. That's another reason why all those players that have already like maxed out their experts level, because they have nothing better to do. Like some players will just before 3.1.7, like a lot of players have two ways into playing the game. Like either they max out everybody's level without knowing what to do with them, or they focus on just grinding relics every single day with limited amount of level 60 espers. So the ones that have already leveled up all their espers to level 60, they are enjoying the benefit right now. The unlock requirement for bounties has been changed from blah blah blah, but for players who don't meet this requirement after the update, bounties will be closed for them and very upon once they meet the requirement. Okay, reduce HP enemies of Miramon and bosses in all Sonic Miracle interference stages. Difficulty 3.1. Although I don't really think that Sonic Miracle have any problem. You know, even though their damage is a lot, but they already shown you like every single boss requires certain strategy to beat, so you just follow what they want and you will have no problem at all. So yeah, like the Sonic Miracle that can heal, just give him disease. The Sonic Miracle that can have shield, just give him buff blocker, etc. etc. Reduce the difficulty of some floors in the Ritual Miracle. Stages difficulty of all from 7 to 14. So this will benefit a lot of new players because it doesn't change the 15 and the 16, which is good. Like the veteran players still need to work for their relics, don't get spoon fed by the developer. So this is the probability of stunning Miramon and bosses in the Chrono stage. Wait, you can stun the boss? Huh? You can stun Chronos? Can you? I don't know, maybe stunning the Miramon, but probably not the boss. Reduce the percentage of AP increase at the end of enemy's turn in 12 to 15 of the Chronos stages. Chronos gets a lot of nerf. Reduce boss resist and HP in Chronos, APF, and Fafnir stages. Although I don't know if the resist will make us able to use poison again later, but we will see. We will see. It's not so much as a requirement. Like it was fun while it lasted me like using Eve and Clara in Chronos, but that is just for fun. It's not a requirement, you know. The level range of relics drop in the Ritual Miracle will be changed from level 40-60 to 50-60. This is good for new players. Increase the drop rate of level 60 relics in the Ritual difficulty 12 to 15. Battle in 16 F now drops 2 level 60 relics every time. This is good. This will make farming relics much easier. And also they increase the amount of gold, right, that you can get from selling the relics. So all in all, a lot of nerfs into what they did in 3.1.7. So if after these people still complain, then just stop playing the game, you know, like nobody asks you to keep playing the game. Sonic Grave changes. Reduce stamina required to clear the Sonic Grave, XP gain efficiency improve. Slightly reduce enemies HP and damage. Okay. So yeah, this changes a lot of things. Like they nerf a lot of things. They make their games much easier this way. So I do expect there will be harder content in the future. Because I'm looking for harder content. I don't want easier content. Why do I play games if it's too easy? So there's no challenge in that. Gold acquisition optimizations. Add gold drop from the Sonic Reef. Increase the selling price for enhanced rallies. Increase gold amount in some quest chests. Okay. Yeah. This is the ones that you get more gold from selling. But this is enhanced relic, not the standard relics. So yeah, we will just see the standard relics. If it still sells for the same amount of gold, then yeah, no changes in that. Courses changes. Adjust the Ritual Maker Challenger course and rewards. This course will change. Oh, this is the achievement, I think. Oh no. This is an extra reward. Oh my god. Here's the allow blah blah blah. The unlock requirement. There are calculated with the unlock requirement. Master record plan. Yeah, they just give so much reward in their game. As far as growth changes, it's just level cap. Players account, making them more suitable for players. So yeah, they did cap the esper level based on your account level, but that will limit some newer players from actually like clearing the content. Like if they are really smart and able to clear content much harder than their own level, then they will get troubled because their esper cannot be increased further. But with this should be much better. Calamity Island optimization increase enemies HP for some floors, non-elite stages. Reduce the number of enemies with an advantage elemental class for some stages. The number of enemies for the first 20 elite floors has changed from 5 to 3. This is a buff and a nerf. So they increase the enemy's HP in some floors to make it like quite difficult. Reduce the number of HP. So the problem with the Calamity Island is that you are limited to certain element that you can bring, but the bosses, the boss stage will bring a stronger element than what you're currently using, and so most of your attacks will miss, and so making critical damage relic like less useful in Calamity Island. But this is good, like because based on this update, they don't plan on nerfing Calamity Island too much so soon, because Infinity Tower, Calamity Islands are contents that is not supposed to be clearable. People need to realize this. If they are stuck in certain levels in this Infinity Tower or Calamity Islands, that means their skills is only at that level, and they are not supposed to be asking to the game developer to make it easier because they cannot clear it. That's a problem. Like if you have ever played MMORPG, like that's the whole purpose of a raid, an end game content where people can enjoy doing some things like challenging themselves while the developer have time to make a new content. So they don't get bored like before the new content is released, they have something to do to keep banging their head to that wall. And that is the purpose of Infinity Tower and Calamity Islands. So they nerf Infinity Tower because they release Calamity Islands, and that's why Infinity Tower is much easier right now because they already have Calamity Islands. And that's how they do it. Like that's how they do in MMORPG. Once the new raid is ready, the new content is ready, they gonna nerf the current content. The best example of this is World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy Online, etc. etc. So yeah, point war optimizations. HP bonus in the point war has changed from increasing a fixed amount of HP for all tiers to increasing different ratios of HP based on tier. Meanwhile, HP bonuses have been reduced for PvP modes such as casual matches. Okay, so casual matches, you do want to have your actual ESPERS attributes to make a better decision judgment. Like I usually use the casual matches for testing purposes, so I don't want to have like the HP bonus hindering my calculation in here. But here, this is good. That means in lower tier, the HP bonus don't affect them that much because a lot of the time, like because the increase of HP is fixed amount, like in every tier level, if you have a tank, then you will almost unbeatable, especially in lower tier level where a lot of players still don't have that good of a relic. That means their damage is limited by a lot, but HP HP ESPERS, because they get increased HP, they get a lot of benefit over the damage dealer from the enemy team side. So yeah, all in all, this is a good balancing. Increase activation speed of auras, damage increase, healing efficacy reduction in the arena. This is it. Wait, arena means holo battle and point war, right? Yeah, this is it. Because my Intisar get a lot of benefit from a long battle. So now the long battle becomes shorter, so I will see increased damage in a faster rate. So for those of you who are like, using a tag team to deal with the tank team, you will get your attack damage increase much faster for you to be able to kill those tanks, as long as you can survive for at least quite a while until you gain that bonus to be able to kill them. Yeah. So, and also because I mostly focus on long battle, I don't like finishing the battle within like 1 or 2 turns. So this will make my build shine much earlier. Gameplay unlock requirement changes. The unlock as per arena, change the squad, using fantasies, no longer unlock red fusion, players who have already unlocked. A strategy guide optimization, optimize command. Oh yeah, this is actually cheating, I just realized. So like if you have a strong friend and you are not at the level where you can actually supposed to clear your ritual miracle, but because you borrow your friends insane Gaius, and then you are able to clear that ritual miracle, that is not actually your own skill that opens that up. So yeah. Optimized recommended formation. Players can now view formation based on floor spaces and scores. Recommended ESPERS for unclear stages can also be checked by a boss strategy guide. Recommended based on boss mechanics. Players can now view formation based on floor spaces and scores. I don't really get the idea about this. Like, I prefer that they don't release the strategy when you are trying to clear certain content. Like the current strategy system is good enough for me. Like, you release the ESPERS, the 5 ESPERS that person is using to clear the content, but you don't release the relics that they are actually using. That will make people think with their own head how to clear the content, instead of copy pasting like every other people's who has cleared that content. That will just make this game like a copy paste content, and that's why there are not many variations in the ESPERS that everybody are using. Like, a lot of people are just using all the same ESPERS over and over again in every single content, and that makes the game less variety. And that's what the developer wants to tackle. They want you all to get creative, like try different combinations. Like, a lot of ESPERS are really good. Like, you just play around with them, and that's what they try to make in the Ritual Miracle. Like, you can mix and match more ESPERS, even though like some ESPERS is a must over there, but you can mix and match right now instead of like the previous ones. Although the previous ones, your mix and match, you can still mix and match better before 3.1.7, but that is not because of the ESPER. That is because of brute forcing. Like, you are already strong enough that you don't care about mechanics of the boss. The unlock requirement for plate more, right? Change to clear corner difficulty 6. Sure, price, price of easy has been changed from 2. Okay, so they released the twins now in the game shop. Both of them. The price of Febreze, changed. Okay, they just nerf all these costs. Where is the compensation? This is good. Yeah, I was already imagining like a lot of people are gonna complain because they already purchased those ripples and they waste a lot of currency, but they actually compensate them. Yeah, so that's good. Because they have all special tower floors. This also benefits new players. Raid tokens required for the Sonic, blah blah blah. Yes, if it's experiment from Expedition, this is also good. And as possibility, I will now display the entire ability description by default. Add a spin to the elemental class. This is what I need. This is what I need. You saw me on my other video when pulling Yeah, elemental record, and I did it one by one. The missions and tutorial changes. Just some comments for all the impact of mistake missions. Just level training base milestone. But the shared for of shared damage for ESPERS linked by Q. Okay. Yeah, this is must be like a little bug in there. For items in the compact, this is for pay to win players. Improve rewards for yeah. This is you can just read on your own. I'm a free to play player, so I don't know any of this. I don't use them at all. So yeah, that's all the changes in 3.1.9. All in all, it's solid. It's okay. Like the changes are good. It balanced the game more. Like probably we can say that there a Dislyte, the developer make their game too easy before 3.1.7, and they don't want that, and then they change it to the way that they want it to be, so that people can experiment more using their ESPERS, and then to make the content much harder, so players have challenges here and there, but then they overdid it, and now they adjust the difficulty to cater for both new players and the veteran players. So all in all, changes are good here, and I will later see what else that people want to complain about. But that's the thing. Like that's how people on the internet acts. Like if something doesn't satisfy what they have in mind, they just throw it out to into the forum. Which in this case, we should think on both sides. The developer side and the player side. And I just want to tell you one thing, like for the developer side, don't follow the players, because that's what makes your game like worse, because here's the thing, the developer will keep on developing their game as much as they can, because this is their game. They will be here almost like for the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, like even after 10 years, they will still developing their game. They will not forsaken the game as long as they have money and the company is still running. But the players will come and go. So if you cater the players' expectation, like if you follow everything that they want you to do, there is no guarantee that they will still play the game. They will always get bored. Whatever you do to satisfy them, there is no guarantee that next month or the next 6 months or next year they will still play the game, because new games will come out. They will get bored. Their friends invite them to join another game, blah blah blah, etc., etc., and they will move on, and you will be left with dissatisfaction, because you will you will go back and think about what you already did. You did everything for the players, the current players. But in the future, those current players are no longer playing your game. So what have you been doing up until now? You are changing your game for their sake, while they themselves no longer play your game. So when the developer wants to change some things inside their game, is to balance the game for future players, not for the current players. So even though the players, like if you are the players and you think that, I contribute something to the company, like I spend my money, blah, 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 and everything, like it doesn't really matter, because as long as they hold the 10% the 10% of the Leviathan on top, as long as they still play the game, your purchase doesn't really matter, because what the game needs is to be interesting enough for new players to come and try their game. So that's the thing. Like, this is kind of like speaking from a little bit of personal experience, but yeah, that's just my intake. So as a player, we shouldn't feel like the customer is king, because that's what actually our ego destroying the company. So we need to be like, try to imagine yourselves in their shoes. You will be here for the next 10 years while the players will come and go. So yeah, that's basically it. So all in all, solid changes. This is good for the balancing of the game, and I do hope that newer players will enjoy the game while the veteran players will get some challenge. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.